Now, the Republican Party loves to paint themselves as a party of fiscal responsibility. Yeah, laugh along with me, right? It was reported back in October that the federal budget deficit has surged to about $779 billion in fiscal year 2018. So this is the full year of Donald Trump having control. This is after Donald Trump and the GOP successfully passing the giant tax cuts. So you can't blame this on Obama. So who are they going to blame it on? Well, we'll see. Now, first, not only did the federal budget deficit surge to its highest level in 6 years, it's also expected to top $1 trillion in the year 2019. Now, the primary driver, of course, is the Republican tax cuts, as well as increased military spending. Hey, it turns out that, again, tax cuts for the rich don't magically increase government revenue through growth. This doesn't happen. The only growth that seems to be happening is in rich people's bank accounts. Shocker. What is it that we told you the whole time? It's just a way to transfer money to the rich so they can hoard more. Now, look, to be fair, some in the White House have gotten a bit worried, and they've decided, boy, we need to figure out what to do about this, and we need to know what the president plans on doing about this. Because, look, we can't have this runaway debt. There are people that actually believe that, we have so much debt, and we thought that the tax cuts were gonna fix that, but it turns out, no, it made it worse. Well, what are we gonna do? What are we gonna do? Now, one official speaking to the Daily Beast provided an anecdote from 2017. Now, this is when Trump was shown data suggesting a spike for the national debt in the foreseeable future. Now, here was his response. Quote, "Yeah, but I won't be here." So when officials are like, hey, man, look, we're going to have a gigantic debt and we've already got rising deficits, we're going to have to do something about this, right? So what do you think, Mr. President? I don't know, not my problem. I'm going to be gone by the time this actually has some sort of an impact. So, whatever. I mean, that's your problem, suckers. I'm out of here. In fact, the Beast also spoke to a Trump official who said the president, quote, doesn't really care about resolving the debt and would prefer sticking to with his message of, quote, jobs and growth, whatever that means. Hey, look, don't say we didn't warn you. He has no idea what he's doing. See, here's the thing. What a lot of people don't get, especially the Republicans who are like, wait a minute. Well, I thought you guys cared about that. I thought this was actually going to work and it was actually going to resolve the debt. No, this is classic Donald Trump. He does not understand a goddamn thing about the economy. He is called the king of debt for a reason, because he is really good at spending other people's money and then not paying them back. He is really good at borrowing money from other people, blowing it, defaulting, and going bankrupt. And then telling people, hey, guess what, sucker? I'm not going to pay. Yeah, I know I borrowed millions of dollars from you, and then I pissed it all away. What are you going to do about it? What are you going to do? I don't have any money. I'm broke. I just declared bankruptcy. Shouldn't have been stupid enough to give me money in the first place, because you know what I do. Again, he has been bankrupt 6 times. And look, what we did is we took an idiot who doesn't understand that the government does not run like a household financially or a small business. And we put him in charge of the country. We put him in charge of that. Look, to be fair, he can't actually directly do spending bills or whatever, right? Now, he can sign them after they go through Congress. The stuff that he can do is that he can influence the stock market. He can influence that through his tweets because he's done it before. And he can sign terrible legislation from Republicans like giant tax cuts for the rich. Now, a lot of these Republicans, they don't actually care. What this is that this is a free-for-all. Republicans are like, well, we're going to be kicked out of government soon. The demographics are heavily favored against us. So what are we going to do? Well, we are going to basically loot everything that we can from the government privatize everything, give everything to ourselves and our donors before we're kicked the hell out. So that's what this is. And so the worst thing is Donald Trump's actually, in a way, he's right. And what I mean by that is that he's not going to be there when it all comes crashing down. Just like all the other one percenters, he's going to be sitting in his literal tower, not an ivory tower, but still a tower, Trump Tower, while everything else falls apart. While you and me on Main Street, we get crushed just like we did in 2008. That's where he's going to be. So you think he cares? No, he doesn't care. And he's telling us, I don't actually care about what's going to happen economically to this country. In fact, he says, well, why don't we just go bankrupt on the national debt? Not realizing that that would actually cause a sovereign debt crisis that would plunge the entire world into a gigantic depression, worse than the Great Depression. Again, no idea what the hell he's doing. And one more thing on that, by the way. This isn't just Donald Trump. This is indicative of Republicans in general. This is how they operate. They make a mess in the budget, and then they force Democrats to clean it up. And then they do things like pay-go rules, which, by the way, Democrat Nancy Pelosi is looking at actually doing a pay-go rule. Guess what that would do? That would kneecap all progressive legislation. Medicare for all. Couldn't do it. Gone. Off the table. Sorry. You have to have the pay-go rule. You got to pay for it. Things like free college. That kind of stuff. A massive green, the Green New Deal. Couldn't do that. Massive infrastructure. Couldn't do it. Because, you can't pay for it. So it's not just Democrats that have Republicans that do this, but Democrats have fallen for it as well. Centrist Democrats. So, but here's the thing. They're stuck in this mindset now is, well, the Republicans destroy the economy by giving out candy, basically tax cuts for the rich, deregulation, which makes all the money flow to the top. And then the Democrats have to clean it up by basically cutting things that regular people do. Putting Social Security on the table, putting cuts to Medicare on the table, putting cuts to so-called entitlement programs, when we really should be actually attacking the military. For one, the military budget, the Pentagon budget, which is over $700 billion, almost $800 billion, and taxing the rich. That's what we should actually do. But every Republican since Reagan has done the same thing. Cut taxes for the rich, deregulate, messes everything up, and then, of course, they leave. That's why we have a boom-bust cycle every, somewhere around 28 years. We have a massive financial crisis that either leads to a recession or a depression. That system is unsustainable, and that is caused by neoliberal policy. That is caused by corporate-friendly, business-friendly policies. So make no mistake, that's what they've been doing. And we are stuck in that cycle as long as we are stuck with the same politicians. Now, the only difference with Donald Trump is that at the end of the day, at least he's honest about it. Hey guys, hopefully you enjoyed that free video. Now I'm going to have to ask you a favor. Between the demonetization and the YouTube algorithm messing around with view counts, etc., we're having a hard time adjusting to the new YouTube reality, which is where you guys come in. See, we have a patreon.com/TYTNation set up to help us rely on you guys, the viewers, instead of big corporate ads. Look, you know the show. You know how I'm not in favor of big corporations anyway. So help us transition away from relying on the ad model to pay the bills and sign up to be a patron, patreon.com/TYTNation. That goes a long way to help us keep the lights on. And you guys will know that you're supporting independent progressive media.